So I'm currently in a new country, and I just found out this morning that I have a professional orchestra audition in 3 days. Let's talk about it. Hi everyone, this is Brian with Let's Talk Violin, a channel where we try to make violin playing as easy, accessible, and fun as possible. So if this is your first time checking out this channel, give us a like and a subscribe so that we can keep bringing you awesome new content. So I traveled to a new country with my fiance, Ronnie, who's on some of the other Let's Talk Violin episodes. And we came here because she had a very important concert to perform here. Now, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, that concert has been canceled as the country went into full lockdown the day before we flew. So we managed to get here, but no concert. So I thought, how am I going to keep myself busy? And I noticed that Ronnie is on the substitute violin list for the local professional symphony orchestra. And I thought, well, why don't I write to them and see what I can do? So I wrote to the concertmaster, and lo and behold, she wrote back immediately and asked, can you come in 3 days for an audition? Here are the excerpts, and here's what you need to prepare. So I'm going to be honest with you. This is my first live professional orchestral audition, and I'm a little scared. My friends who know me know that I kind of tend to overthink everything when I practice, and I need a lot of time to prepare everything. So this is going to be a new challenge because I'm going to have to practice in such a way that I'm able to organize my thoughts really, really well, but also get to the point that I need to much quicker. So that's going to require a lot of thought, organization. It's going to require me to stay continuously focused and also continuously inspired while I practice, which is going to be a challenge for me because practice has been kind of on and off for the whole past year due to the pandemic. I also thought this would be a great topic to talk about on this channel because preparing for orchestras is something that we are told a lot about in school, but one really only learns that process when they're in the thick of it, especially for the first time. So this is going to be a really, really interesting thing for me to prepare for. So let's get started. So there's a few things that I know I'm going to have to think about a lot while practicing this week. And the first thing is going to be rhythm. The more I practice lately, the more I realize that I cannot play a piece unless my body is flowing in a real solid rhythm and a solid pulse. So this is going to be really helpful for the Mozart Symphony No. 39 excerpt, the Brahms Symphony No. 4 first movement excerpt, and it's also going to be really helpful for just general violin playing. I think I'm going to be able to learn a lot from this experience, trying to learn music really quickly. I find Mozart to be very difficult because it kind of requires this jewel-like precision, but at the same time one can't be afraid while playing it, because if you're afraid while playing it, it totally comes across. So I'm going to try something this week where I'm going to practice in like short spurts, but like feel really comfortable and really solid, and hopefully in doing so I can keep my brain really clear and not overwhelmed, but then I'll be able to learn the piece a little bit quicker. Now, another thing I'm going to do this week is I'm going to practice a lot with a drone. So for example, this is my favorite app, the Cleartune app, and it has a really loud drone. So after I tune my violin, I'm going to practice, the Brahms E minor symphony and then the two Mozart excerpts, especially in E flat, and I'm going to turn on a drone on the tonic chord of those. So for the Mozarts, I'll practice with an E flat drone, and for the Brahms, I'm going to practice with an E drone for the first day. On the second day, I'm going to turn the drone to the dominant, which I'm going to practice on B for the Brahms, and I'm going to practice on B flat for the Mozarts. I think this is going to help me a lot in terms of just making sure that I'm really solid with pitch, because when I have so little time to prepare, I'm going to need to make sure that I am really in tune. Now, orchestra auditions are kind of an interesting thing because I also just prepared for a different one. I don't really count that because it was a recorded audition. So I was able to do it many times. In this case, I'm only going to have one chance to do it. which is a little scary, and it's going to be completely live. But one thing I learned from the last time I recorded excerpts was that one actually really needs to be musical. Like, musicality is so important. Understanding the phrase structure, the harmony, understanding the voices going on with your part, understanding how your rhythm fits in with the larger scope of the work is extremely important, because you're one person up on that stage and you need to somehow create the illusion of a full symphony. It's really nice practicing this way because it makes one feel less alone. When you're up there playing a single part when there's supposed to be dozens of other parts with you, imagining them carrying you along and playing chamber music with them almost in your mind is a really great way to feel less alone, but it also adds other dimensions to your playing. Another thing that I learned when I was preparing for that past audition was that cleanliness is not everything. So I had a lesson with a really respected teacher in Chicago where I live, and he was really adamant on showing the music really clearly, maybe even at the expense of complete and utter clarity and cleanliness. Now, I think that I should be able to get both, but that's going to be my problem, not anybody else's. So here we go. I've got all my excerpts in my trusty iPad here. And today it's just going to be a lot of focus practicing, like really small sections, organizing everything where I am in the bow and making sure that my left hand feels balanced, because I think if I have this little time to prepare, I have to make sure everything feels good from the get-go. So I'm going to practice as slow as it takes to just make sure that everything feels really good, really centered, and really balanced. Now, I can't share all of my practicing here on this channel. However, if you give us a follow on our Instagram page, also called Let's Talk Violin, you'll see a lot of videos over the next few days of me practicing, and practicing in different ways. I'm also going to really make sure that I kind of map out my bow usage. One of my worst bad habits is that I tend to try to use way more bow than I actually should. And so much of the time, everything comes out way better when I actually map out exactly how much bow I'm going to use. And that can be tied in with phrasing as well. You know, phrasing can actually be broken down into bow distribution. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that, especially in the Brahms and Mozart excerpts. So check out our Instagram page if you want to see my thought process on all of those. So that's it for today. I need to go get practicing because I have a lot to do today. So go check out my progress on our Instagram page, and I will keep giving little updates about what I'm thinking about on this channel each day. Thank you so much. This is Brian from Let's Talk Violin. Keep calm and play on, and I'll see you in the next video.